of Chicagoans that I talk to, that I communicate with, mostly black and brown, actually, tell me that you don't seem to know the difference between illegal aliens and real Chicago citizens. They feel that you are siding with the illegal aliens over them in their communities. And okay. Sadly,
William, let's get to the question.
Let's get to the question. The real question is simply this. I don't know how to make it any more direct. An illegal alien from Nicaragua grabbed a woman on the north side last week, bashed her head into the sidewalk, knocked her unconscious, and raped her. If that had been your wife, Stacey.
Okay, all right, we're not going to answer it. Thank you. Thanks, William.
All right.
Would you want ICE to deport her?
All right. Let's move on.
Yes or no?
Let's move on.
Answer the question as a man, not as mayor, but as a man. Would you want?
Yeah.
You know, this is, I don't know, an unheard of opinion. I don't hear people talking about it. But, you know, the shit that's happening in Chicago, maybe things that are happening in California, maybe things that are happening in New York, right? How these Democratic-run cities, states, whatever, they hate the president so much. Sometimes I just wish that, you know what, leave them to their own devices. If Chicago becomes a cesspool, if Chicago is killing itself, fine, fuck it, whatever. Because you gotta think, these are the people that voted these shitty people in. So if these cities, these states are suffering, allow it, let them suffer. I would say the same thing with red states, right? Because at the end of the day, we have to hold the people that these people, right, the people elect, you know, the consequences that you pretty much, you know, facilitated. You elected these people. These people effed up your city, your state. Well, that is your fault, in my opinion. So, in my honest, how I view is like, we are spending government money to, let's say, help out with places, right? Chicago or something. But I think, well, let's say ICE thing, fine. I would say, you want your whole city filled with immigrants? Let's import all our immigrants to that one city. Right? It's now a sanctuary city, right? Whatever. Okay, let's put all immigrants there and cut off federal funding. Because I wouldn't want my taxpayer to go to a city that is pretty much non-Americans. Why not just do that, in my opinion? I don't know if we could, right? I'm saying that I know anything, but I'm saying, okay, fine. Let these cities run how they want to run, but just don't funnel taxpayers' money into that said city. I don't know how it works. I mean, just let their own tax money circulate within that city. Maybe, I don't know, right? Because the tax money maybe shouldn't, like, that city's tax money shouldn't go to the state or the nation, the country, and just let that tax money, funnel through that city. Is that how it works? I don't know. I'm not bothered to look, but maybe that is a solution, because honestly, it gets tiring. Fine, you don't want the government to step in, fight your high level crime, whatever. You don't want the government to step in when your country, your state or city is filled with immigrants. Fine, whatever. Just don't have federal funding go through your city or state. Use your own city or state funding to take care of the shit you are worried about. That's what I think.
ICE is now detaining African-American citizens in Chicago.
It is true. If you are an African-American citizen who is breaking federal law by either obstructing justice and assaulting ICE officers or aiding and abetting illegal immigrants, yes, it is true that ICE temporarily detains anyone, no matter their skin color, and hands Americans who violate laws over to local or federal law enforcement to be prosecuted for their crimes. So if you don't feel like being detained by ICE, as they won't detain you for being black or any skin color, the safe thing to do would be to not attack ICE agents or commit a felony. Just a suggestion. Take it or leave it.
Hi, you know ICE agents have children too. Most of them have children too. And it's not as hard as you think to figure out who they are, where they go to school, their names. It's not hard at all.
You know, just like it's easy to find out if ICE have children and where they go to school, it's pretty easy to find out who you are and who your family members are. How would you feel if people threatened your family? Because that's what you just did. Because what's the point of figuring out where ICE kids go to school? Why do you need to go talk to the children? You trying to convince the children to tell their parents to leave their job? Or are you trying to instill fear in the hearts of the ICE agents so they no longer want to do their job? Right? Because we could do the same thing to you as well, right? And it's hilarious because I told this lady, I commented on her video, I was like, you know what, I'm about to expose you to my viewers, my followers. And she blocked me and deleted her account.
Mind you, she has multiple accounts. Multiple accounts. Here's the thing why I left the Democratic Party. They're hypocrites. And it's not like I'm saying that Republicans aren't, but they are such hypocrites to such a degree that it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. It's blatant, and because they come out at like a moral superiority kind of thing. Like, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I wouldn't stoop to your level. Yet they stoop to other people's level and worse. And worse. I think this shit is disgusting. I really do. Okay? It is true that, so it is okay for people, your party, to harm other people. It is okay for your people, for your party to harm other people, their properties, to threaten people, to even kill people. It is okay. It is okay for your party to do heinous acts to other people. But God forbid, the opposition does terrible things to you. That's when you call for gun reform. You call for, I don't know, like fascism, Nazi shit right there. That's when you're doing that, right? Because shit like that sounds like, kind of, what would I say? Would I say Nazi mindset? Going after people, going after their family, trying to target people that you dislike, target people you don't agree with. People like this are disgusting. They really are.
The basic problem we have in America is conservatives think the liberals are insane, and they're not completely wrong. Now, I don't think most liberals are insane, but neither do they make it clear they disapprove of the ones who are, and their cowardice in not marginalizing their own crazies has been their downfall. I couldn't get Neil deGrasse Tyson, a genius scientist and preeminent scientific voice in the media, to agree that it was ridiculous for Scientific American and The Atlantic to be claiming that separating sports by sex doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Actually, it makes perfect sense. And it's obvious that it does. And there's a lot of stuff like that on the left. And when conservatives see it, they say, I'm sorry, we're just not going to go along with reinventing society, often pointlessly, even if we have to cancel democracy to do it. That's what they're saying. They see gender as only a construct and sex is assigned at birth, and they say, we're not doing that. Transing kids by self-diagnosis with no age limit, no parental notification, and no acknowledgement of social contagion, not doing it. Asylum now covers any reason for anyone to come to America, not doing it. Homelessness is a lifestyle. Natural immunity doesn't count anymore. Whiteness is toxic. Penises in women's prisons. Welcoming the Intifada. We're not doing it. And so, folks, if we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop coming up with radically new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath, insist there be no debate about any of it. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5, isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add. You can't just say shit. Math is racist. Queers for Palestine. Looting is cool. Healthy at any weight. If the men's football team played the women's team, it would be a tie. You can't just say shit. I mean, you can, but it doesn't make it true because you're not Harry Potter. Smug self-righteousness in the defense of some of the dumbest ideas to ever come down the pike is not a formula that's really working for you. Because here's one thing I can promise every liberal in this country. The Democrats can win every election from now until forever. And the people who now hold the reins of power will not give a shit and will not give it back if they think you're still not.
And now, we're going to introduce you to Logan Federico, a 22-year-old aspiring teacher. She was visiting friends when a 30-year-old with a lengthy rap sheet broke in and murdered her in cold blood.
Think about your child coming home from a night out with their friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead. Gone. Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 times, 25 felonies, was on the street. You will be sick and tired of my face and my voice until this gets fixed. I will fight until my last breath for my daughter. Stop protecting the people that keep taking them from us. Please. You have the power. We put you in the power to do what you have to do. We're asking you, we're begging you all to stop this.
Here with me is that father you just heard, Stephen Federico. Stephen, I saw that video and I was enraged right along with you. First of all, I'm so sorry for the loss of your daughter. It is a heartbreak. I have a daughter about the same age, and you say that Logan's suspected killer, Alexander Dickey, was treated with more respect, seemed to have more rights than she did. What did you mean by that?
Well, I mean, if you take a look at his criminal resume, he's got 39 crimes, 25 felonies. And they cared more about making sure he wasn't put in prison than worrying about whether or not he was going to hurt somebody. His crimes escalated every time he committed a new one. I mean, he finally graduated to the jackpot and executed our daughter. I mean, we're still trying to hear from the South Carolina solicitor to see what he's going to do, whether or not he's going to seek the death penalty or not, which obviously it checks all the boxes that it does. But they're more concerned about keeping criminals out of the prisons and out of the institutions than they are putting them in there to try to rehabilitate them. You can't rehabilitate some of these guys. It's just impossible.
Steve, there was a moment during this hearing when a Democrat, Congresswoman Deborah Ross, confused your daughter with another victim. Let's watch this.
I also want to express my deepest, deepest condolences to the family of Irina Zarutska. We should have been doing more to prevent crime and address the lack of mental health care long before this hearing, particularly...
My daughter. This isn't Irina.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is my daughter.
I am so sorry.
Okay?
I am so sorry.
This is Logan Federico. She was before Irina.
I am so
4 months before.
I'm so sorry for your loss, and my heart goes out to you.
Dare you not know her?
Steve, you know, we heard the activists 5 years ago say, know her name, know his name. And you think this was more than just a mistake. It's a general sense of carelessness and heartlessness that just had to have added to the pain that I know you're already feeling as a parent.
It was humiliating. I mean, I did my homework before I went to the meeting. I would have known exactly who I was talking to. The meeting was about violence against, you know, the innocent. And not to know who Logan was, her picture was right there. They're blondes, they're beautiful, but not to know who you were referring to, it was a little embarrassing and hurtful.
Steve, how are you? This is what I thought of when I saw you in the video. How are you as a father getting through this?
Well, you know, I'm fighting for Logan. I have to be Logan's voice because nobody else will be. I don't have anybody fighting for her. I don't have anybody fighting for her justice. Somebody has to fight for the innocent people that are left there. You know, we've got to make some drastic changes here in our system. People like Alexander Dickey should not be on the street. People know that. There's no reasonable argument that somebody can give me why he was on the street. They just can't, and they won't. They haven't. They hadn't even tried. Okay?
They have
so someone has to
answer.
stand up.
They have no answer.
There's zero
for you.
answer.
Yeah, they don't
Zero.
want to answer. But you confronted them, Steve, with the truth and with the righteous anger of a father. And I salute you. I actually going to get teared up on this segment because it's so upsetting. I'm praying for you and your family because I know peace is going to be hard to get, but we're really praying for you. And thank you for doing what you're doing. And anything I can do to help you, you know how to get in touch with me, and I mean it. Okay, Steve?
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Do Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown? Because if the government does shut down, American
Excuse
employees are going to
me,
be furloughed.
stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open and we want to work with the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody. We want to save lives. We want to make sure that health care is available to those who would die, but having the help of their government.
So you're good with the government shutdown, even if it means giving health care to people who aren't American citizens?
Well, that's what you're pushing on. What you're trying to do is you're standing here and you're trying to make me say that somehow we're going to put non-citizens over Americans. Quit it. Stop it. This is the kind of journalism we don't need.
No, I'm just
You're
asking
divisive.
questions.
No, you're not.
Yeah, no, that's
You're being
what-
divisive. No,
No, I'm
please. You don't need to ask that question. You're just trying to get controversy here. You're not going to get it from me. We want to save health care for all people. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Appreciate it.
I haven't heard anybody in my party saying that illegal immigrants should get access to health insurance marketplace.
Wait for it. I'm so glad you said that. Actually, I have some tape of your Democratic Party members saying this on the debate stage. So they've all said it. Let's play the clip.
This is a show of hands question, and hold them up for a moment so people can see. Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
That's literally every member of your party.
Not only do I regret ever voting Democrat, I now believe that it has always been a Democratic mission to not only make black people's lives worse than it has ever been through policies and laws, but to also make black people racist and to make white people hate black people even more.
This is an interesting take, and that's because humans operate typically based off of incentive structures. Jeff, what do you mean? Let's put this into the context that he's talking about. If you pay attention to the Democratic Party, a majority of the issues they talk about are people who are victims. They tell you you're a victim and they victimize you, and then they sell you on the fact that they have the solution to your victimization. Hey, those white people, those Republicans are racist, and we're gonna fight those racist people for you, so vote for us. Hey, the reason you're not doing well and the reason you're struggling financially is because the system is against you because you're black, and those racist Republicans are holding you down. Vote for us Democrats. But here's the thing, since Democrats have made most of their issues about victimization, it actually doesn't help Democrats if black people start doing better and don't need a savior. But if you can keep black people thinking white people are racist, and you can keep black people thinking that you're the one who is going to fight those racists, you can keep black people voting for you. If black people stay in broken homes and we continue to not make money, we continue to stay overweight, we continue to fail in many of these very important categories, that allows the Democrats to continue to point at history, white people, and racism. And they can present themselves as the savior to that problem, or the ones who will provide a solution, the solution to that problem. But again, they're not actually incentivized to solve the problem for black people. They're actually incentivized to keep black people struggling. And they actually are incentivized to get white people to be racist towards black people. If there's plenty of racism to go around, Democrats have something they can continually run on. And it makes their job easy because they don't have to show results. They don't have to really be accountable to the things that they're not doing, because they can say, hey, those other people don't like you because your skin color, we do, and black people run and line up to go vote for that. Many of us have not woken up to this yet. Also think about this. When do you see Democrats talking about personal accountability and decision making? When do you see Democrats saying, hey, you have the power to make better decisions and you need to do that? You need to stop playing so many video games and relaxing and go work and learn some skills that can make you money. When do you see Democrats saying, hey, you need to go get in the gym, you need to walk, you need to stay in shape? They don't talk about that. Because again, the more black people are struggling, the more Democrats can be the savior. And the more they can blame it on the history of the white man and racism. Which again, if black people are blinded by racism, Democrats really don't have to produce anything. They can just say those other people don't like you because of your skin color, so vote for us. And like I said, we go run and line up at the polls to do it. We need to wake up.
Get out of my face! Right. You can't I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Don't put that in my face. Don't put that in my face. Don't put that in my face. I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. God loves you. Go the fuck away. Jesus loves you. God loves you. God loves you. Why are you here? God loves you. God loves you. He wants to save you. He wants to meet you where you are. God wants to meet you where you are. God loves you. I'm here today. Say, Christ. You will not go away. Tip Cafe is anti-gay. Homophones, go away. Tip Cafe is anti-gay. That's okay. God loves you. Go away. Tip Cafe is anti-gay. Homophobes, you go away.
You know, that shows you it's not. I think it's not a race war. Right? We're making it a race war when in fact it's about the sane versus the insane, the mentally stable versus the mentally ill. I find it like, what rights? What are you protesting? Gaza? Fucking Middle East? Why the shit would you care? Why don't you go there then? What are you protesting about the gay? What about gay people are you protesting about? Right? What about, you want to protest men can dress as women? Men can dress as women. Men have the freedom to dress as women. They just don't have the freedom to invade women's safe spaces. So what rights are these insane, these mentally ill people fighting for? The right to kill babies? You can do it. You can do it if you want to. There are plenty. Just go to the state that will allow you to do it. So what right are you fighting for? I don't understand. It's just that you are mentally ill, mentally weak, and just insanely unstable. So this is. I honestly think, right? I can never understand any minority being a part of the Democratic Party. I really don't, because it's a party for the mentally ill. It's the party for the mentally ill. It's the party for believing that you're weak, believing that you need help, believing that you're a victim. It's a party that cares about everyone else besides American citizens. Yeah, stop it with that bullshit.
Can you explain why you continue to post things online about the government, hanging members of parliament, etc.?
Well, what's wrong with that? It's my opinion.
Do you think that's appropriate to post those things online?
Well, you're a communist, treasonous government that are hell-bent trying to enslave us all.
Okay, that's your opinion. So how can we resolve this issue with you continuing to post it? That's not appropriate.
You can't. It's the freedom of speech. You can't stop me from saying what I think is true.
When it does offend people, it does become
Well, what you're doing is offending me.
How am I offending you?
Because you're the thought police. You're coming around here telling me I can't say what I like.
That is incorrect.
No, it's not.
I'm just asking you to think about what you're putting on there, because there's a fine line between freedom of speech and becoming
totalitarian government.
No, that's not.
And that's what you are. You're a
Becoming
totalitarian police. You're the Nazi police.
Okay. Is there any other way we can speak without that being in my face?
No. It's for my protection.
What do you think's going to happen if you're not recording?
No, I don't know. That's why.
I don't know. Does the UK have freedom of speech rights? Is that within their constitution? I don't really know. Right? I don't know. But I do know that the UK is arresting people because of their tweets or whatever they say online. I've heard of that. I mean, again, I don't know if it's factual. I've heard a lot about it. That's what the UK is doing. That if they don't like what you're doing online, they will arrest you. Again, that's what I heard. I'm not living there, so I don't know how firsthand experience. But if that's true, if this video is actually true, which, you know, everything online, you got to put a grain of salt. But that is insane. That is insane. For a Western country to try to police the things you say is insane. Absolutely insane. And because here's the thing. So you care what people say, yet you don't care what people do. You don't care the criminals coming around. I've heard a lot of crazy things that are happening in the UK. Let alone, let's just even think of the US. But so many things are happening. Crazy things happening in the UK. Like, you know, grape, high volumes of grape, you know, high volumes of like knife stabbings. I mean, like, seriously, I've heard a lot of problems that they're having in the UK. And that's what you're going to use your police for? To police other people's, to check on what people say online? Is that what you care? That is insane to me. This is why our Western countries are backwards, and they are honestly failing. They're failing because that's what they care about. Instead of actual problems, actual things that are hurting the Americans, hurting the citizens, right? I'm sorry, hurting the citizens. Same with American citizens, but even hurting the UK citizens. That's what you care about. Is insane.
0% chance we're doing that today. So let's talk about where the far right really excels. One is political violence. You outrank everyone. In fact, you outrank everyone else combined.
Stop. Let's get this right. She said political violence, but her charts don't show political violence. They show extreme and ideological violence. Political violence is a type of ideological violence, but not all ideological violence is political violence. Let's look at her charts. Extremist-linked deaths from 2013 to 2022. And now let's look at the bottom one here. Ideologically motivated homicide victims in the United States from 1990 to 2020. The sources that she's using aren't even backing up the point she's trying to make. White supremacy accounts for like 80% of ideological violence on the right, like ideological extremist violence. But that's not political, that's ideological. So everything she just said, wash that. Swing and a miss. Just because you speak fast and confidently does not mean you're correct. Now let's see what else she had to say.
Combined, let's give a recent example. When Democratic Representative Melissa Hortman, her husband Mark, and their dog were murdered in their home by a man who impersonated an officer, tried to kill 2 other Democratic leaders, and had a list of Democratic leaders he wanted to kill, the left called for gun reform. They called for us to turn down the political rhetoric.
All right, let me stop her again. First thing, Melissa Hortman, she used that recent example because that's essentially the only real legitimate one they have. So she gave that example. Now it's my turn. Name me 2 nationally known Democratic figures that have been shot in the past 2 years by people with extreme right-wing beliefs. Name me 2. Donald Trump has been shot, and the other guy that tried to assassinate him just got convicted for trying to assassinate him. Charlie Kirk just got a bullet put through his neck a couple of weeks ago. Nationally known figures on the right, this is happening to. The guy who shot Charlie Kirk had left-wing ideologies engraved on his bullet casings. Those are 2 prominent figures who are undeniably on the right. Give me that equivalent recently with the left that's happened to. But I mean, I don't have to stop there. How about the ICE facility that was recently shot up? The guy had anti-ICE writings on one of the bullet casings. Multiple people were shot. Who's running around chanting about anti-ICE? But we're not done. You know when Jimmy Kimmel got taken off of air? An ABC affiliate was shot up. Yes, with bullet holes. Don't believe me? Go look it up. Who was not happy about Jimmy Kimmel being taken off of air? The left. How about the individual who tried to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh? Oh, also the man who tried to kill Justice Kavanaugh now identifies as a woman. More left-wing political violence. What about the pro-Palestine guy that tried to burn down Governor Shapiro's house in Pennsylvania? The left loves Palestine. Not even talking about Tesla. All the attacks on Elon Musk or anyone driving a Tesla. Teslas were shot. They were set on fire. Why? Because Elon Musk is on the right. Didn't even mention the congressional baseball attack. Steve Scalise was injured there. And the Tesla violence was everywhere. So yes, the left absolutely has a problem with political violence right now. It is undeniable. So please.
When Trump said there are illegal immigrants who are registered to vote and are voting in our elections, people said, that's not true. That's ridiculous. No, it's not. When Trump said that there are illegal immigrants who are receiving government assistance, people said, what? No, that's not true. That's ridiculous. Here you have a man who was an illegal immigrant who lied about his educational background and work history to get one of the most prestigious jobs in education in Iowa, making over $300,000 a year. And he wasn't even legal. How the hell did he slip through the cracks? With a criminal record, might I add. Now, you know, people on the internet don't be playing. They be doing their research. So this young lady by the name of Laura Powell She was able to find that court records show that Robert's birth date as December 18th, 1970. But on every single platform that he used, his birthday, he put something different. Remaining December 18th, but the years were different. So on one, it's 1970. Another one, it was 1978. Another one, it was 1973. He also lied about his origin stories, right? So Roberts is quoted in 2020 referring to Guyana as his birthplace and saying that his father immigrated to the United States in the 80s and his mother in the 2000s. But in 2024, local news got him saying that he actually was born in Brooklyn and he was raised by a single mother. He also said that he had multiple master's degrees and multiple PhDs, but these school records are nowhere to be found. They were also able to find that he was registered to vote as a Democrat in the state of Maryland and voting. I am just blown away. I am literally blown away. And the fact that when ICE was coming to pick him up, he ran in a school vehicle. Okay, they found him in the woods with $3,000 in cash, a loaded gun, and a knife. They have since apprehended him, but it is so crazy because when you live a life like that, right, where he might have been a great superintendent at this school, but once the scam was revealed, he turned into someone that probably people had no idea that was even in him, right? He was working as a superintendent there for years, but now he's hiding in the woods with a gun and a knife and $3,000 in cash in a school vehicle. That is truly who he is, right? Beneath the surface. And that is very dangerous because if somebody would have personally called that out, their life could have been in danger. And he's overseeing the biggest school district in that state. Over 30,000 children? That's crazy.
What is a fascist? Yeah, can you define it? Can you tell me what a fascist is? Hold on. Okay. Yeah, why do you have to look it up? You're calling us fascists. You should be able to, know what it means when you say it.
I think that their country is the only country, the greatest country in the world.
I think my country is the greatest country in the world. It doesn't make me a fascist. I don't want a dictatorship.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't want a dictatorship.
Supremacy of the military.
Yep, the military should be supreme.
Rampant sexism.
Nope, no rampant sexism.
Read that thing that
Trump's
says,
chief of staff is a woman.
You know what it says up there? Have you been over here to see what it says about Kirk? You know what it says? It says, women stay at home, get pregnant.
Really? Because Charlie Kirk's wife is running his company, and Trump's chief of staff is a woman.
Controlled mass media. That's exactly
there is opposition media in this country. MSNBC, CNN, The Hill,
Obsession with national security.
Yep. The country should be secure.
Religion and government intertwined.
Yeah, religion is not intertwined with the government in this country. We have separation of church and
Corporate
state.
power protected. Labor power suppressed.
Not true. Trump has given bigger tax cuts to the working class than anybody else.
What happened to NPR, the state for intellectual,
yeah, we shouldn't have state-funded media in this country. That's actually what fascists do.
Obsession with crime and punishment.
People should go to jail for committing crimes.
Rampant cronyism and corruption.
Sounds like what Obama did.
What's that on your arm?
That's a tattoo.
A what?
A tattoo.
What does that represent?
This one here.
When fascism comes to this country,
this one here is coordinates.
Listen to me carefully.
Jerusalem
When fascism comes to this country, it will come carrying a cross and carrying an American flag. And that's what you guys are doing, right?
So you
carry the cross and the American flag.
So you think fascism is when Christian and when American? Is that your argument for real?
A bunch of fucking fascists is all you are. Fucking fascists like Adolf Hitler, Mussolini, and you guys.
You know, I'm going to agree with black people. I'm going to agree with black people. White people are the problem. White liberals are the problem. Hell, the Democratic parties were the parties of slavery. Was the party of slavery. This is the thing where to compare anyone in the U.S., to compare the U.S. to Adolf Hitler, who have killed millions of people, is absolutely disgusting. I'm going to call it out. You white people are disgusting. You are. Okay? And you are the reason why the indoctrination of the person who killed Charlie Kirk, right? Calling fascists, Nazis, all this shit. I wish these people who obviously hate America would leave. I really wish. I wish that the half that voted for Kamala would just fucking leave. Would just leave America, right? Leave it. Go wherever you want to go. Find a country, right? Find a country you love. Find a country that's better. Because the left is such a big hater of America. Right? They do not deserve to be Americans. They should leave, and now have spots where their precious illegal immigrants can take up. Right? They love illegal immigrants so much. If you leave, if the half of the fake ass Americans that voted for Kamala that is fucking like this left, America would have quite a big empty space for the illegal immigrants. Right? That you so desperately want. This is the thing. We gotta call these people out. These disgusting ass white people out. More Republican or right-leaning white people should call these motherfuckers out. These people are un-American. These people need to leave. They need to leave. To compare America to Adolf Hitler and Stalin, you people are disgusting. Absolutely, utterly disgusting. I swear, the more I see about the liberals, the left, the Democrats, they are not Americans. They're not. Absolutely hateful human beings. Absolutely do not care about the people. No, you're disgusting people. I'm seeing it more and more. It's these white people. They need to leave. They need to leave this country. Leave this country to the people who actually love being American, who actually love America.
Do you have your citizenship?
Me? No.
Yes.
No, I have a green card.
So you would agree that if you got pulled over for a DUI, you should be able to get deported?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Without a question.
Yes,
it's my opinion, and we're having a dialogue. Try to keep up.
And it's not. Your opinion is not controlling the rest. Exactly. That's an opinion of yours.
Yeah.
That's not the law.
Correct. Well, no, it's not. If you get a DUI, you are deportable under INA or Title 8, however you want to call it.
What are you arguing about? So
according to
for
INA,
DUI,
Title 8, yes.
so
If
when
you
they-
commit a DUI, you can be deported. Absolutely.
just for committing a DUI.
Just for a DUI.
Do you have your citizenship?
Just a DUI. Do you not realize that's actually a dangerous crime, a disgusting crime? I find funny when it comes to a lot of leftists, a lot of Democrats. They have a problem with being a good citizen. They have a problem with being a good citizen. You know how many times I did a video that went pretty viral on Asians, right, supporting deporting illegal immigrants. I got so many insults, like model minority, all this stuff. Like, how's that an insult to say that, you are a good citizen? It's like, that's the insult towards Asian people. You are the model minority. Okay, so what do you mean? You are a good citizen? You obey the law? You follow the rules? You're cleanly? You're friendly? You don't try to cause trouble? It's like, that's the thing where I find it like, are they even Americans? I don't, maybe I'm crazy because I don't know how maybe other countries work. Is it only America that hates being American? Right? Is it only Americans that hate being American but won't leave America? I don't, like, this is why I would, by assumption, right? I think this is probably one of the few countries that, they're fine with their citizens hating their own country, supporting or being fine with being terrible citizens. I just find it ridiculous. I really do. I mean, I don't understand people, because why being a good citizen is part of creating a stable civilization. One of the things where I love about Japan, right, is that essentially they try to promote good citizens, where streets are clean, laws are abided, very few laws are broken, very few criminals, come about, you're orderly. I mean, yes, there are flaws, but I mean, one of the benefits is that they have a very clean, very orderly country. Yet we can't do that, right? We can't do that because we have citizens hating the country, hating to be good citizens.
You don't think the Republicans would vote for a woman?
I
Any
just
woman?
think misogyny runs deeper and stronger than we like to imagine.
It does. I'm not.
I think the country is ready for a change again. And if it has a good woman and a good strong woman, I think every time I had to negotiate a bill and I had senators, female senators, I thought a better bill. The compassion they brought to it, the understanding they brought to it was different than what a man thinks. And they had so much more. So maybe.
But then why are we so far behind most other countries in the world?
I don't know. White women keep giving elections to Donald Trump. So, there's that reality, too. It's not just we're talking about a binary here where it's men and women. Just misogyny knows no gender.
This is stupid, okay? When Obama became president, people on the other side vote for him too, right? It wasn't like, I don't honestly believe you can win an election purely on one side's votes. I don't think so, okay? But here's the thing where I believe Republicans would vote for a woman. Just make it make sense. What did Kamala run on? Trans issues? I don't know. Reparations? Yeah. Most Americans will love that. What did Hillary run on? I don't even remember. I mean, like, please tell me, what did Hillary run on that was an amazing thing? Okay? At least Trump ran on, the importance of the working people, controlling immigration, tax reliefs, just a whole other things that, some people felt a majority of people felt it made sense, or that's what they want. I believe a woman, if she ran on those issues, would have been voted for it regardless. It's not because the hate of women. Okay? It's not the hate of women. It's just that, seriously, run on something that, would resonate with the people. When Kamala was running, I constantly heard that the people who wanted to vote for her, the people that voted for her, only said that they were voting for her because she's a woman or a woman of color. That is it. Not a single person said what policy is she running on. What would she do to help American people? Okay, even if it's a lie, right? Even if it was a lie, which we know politicians, they lie. But even if it was a lie, she didn't. She ran on nothing, at least nothing that I noticed. Okay? So, this is the stupidity of a lot of the left. Oh, it's misogyny. No. It's how are you going to improve my life? This is a thing where I think misogyny, what trumps misogyny, racism, all that stuff, is selfishness. What can you do for me? What do I get out of it? So, I don't care. I don't give a shit I believe even if people do hate women, even if people are racist, if you can benefit them, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care what color you are, what gender you are, whatever. If you can benefit them, that's who they vote for.
America, maybe we have our priorities a little bit skewed. This is what it currently looks like outside the State Farm Stadium in Arizona for the Charlie Kirk Memorial at 5 a.m. Behind me, you see the lines. This year alone, there have been 11 school massacres, and not a single one had a major memorial at a large...
Wait, why don't you organize something for the children if you actually care about them? Nobody's stopping you, because it was Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, that organized a memorial service for her husband. Or do you only care about the children when you can weaponize and use their deaths to push a political agenda? Because that's actually gross. You're fully capable of organizing an event, and being mad that people chose to go to a funeral service is literally top-tier insanity. Suggesting that people have to choose between honoring a life and protecting children is a manufactured dilemma designed to make conservatives look bad. Really dishonest and deliberately divisive. Think about it this way. Was abstaining from Charlie Kirk's funeral going to stop school shootings? It wasn't. You don't have to choose between both. They were both attacked by people who were mentally ill. It's time we stop coddling mental illness in this country. But framing it like you have to choose between both is a manipulative tactic designed to vilify one group, not to pursue real solutions.
She said, I agree with her what she said about the, school shootings and stuff. This is the insanity where, why is it that if it's mourning a conservative, a moral man, a good American, a good citizen, that you shouldn't be mourning. That is crazy that you're mourning. But it's okay for George Floyd, for all these other people, right? People like George Floyd, to riot for it, to protest with it, to mourn his death. I doubt this man would be saying, oh, why are you mourning that man's death? Why are you mourning George Floyd's death? Why are you protesting George Floyd's death? Why do you care so much about that? Why is it that it's okay for us to care, right? The other side to care for whatever they want, right? Whatever death. And it's not saying just or unjust, but it's okay for you to mourn the death of the people you think should be mourned. But it's crazy. Your priorities are not in check if you mourn people on the conservative side. What? It's the hypocrisy. How about keep the same energy? I doubt he has any videos saying why are we mourning these minority deaths? Why are we mourning these less than model citizen deaths? Why are we doing that? I mean, this is the insanity. Like she said, I mean, Charlie Kirk's wife organized this, so people want to support. People like this man. People like Charlie Kirk. People like what he stands for. So they're mourning it. They're not rioting, right? They're not going crazy. Even though this man died in a horrific way, I find it crazy that it's okay for us to riot during George Floyd's death, the death of a criminal, less than moral man, okay, not much of an upright citizen, right? It's crazy that we riot for that, but to mourn the death of a moral citizen, an upright citizen, that's crazy. Your priorities are not in check. Just stop it, right? Let's stop with the bias.
I am offended that our children are not receiving affordable gender reassignment surgery along with hormone blockers and access to abortions. This alone is a threat to our democracy, as Justin Trudeau only says. It just shows that you people do not care about our children, and that these are the same people who refuse to obey the science and get fully vaccinated. It's science, people! Science! Science! And you are selfish murderers. I could die. Don't you people care about my life? You racist, insensitive, homophobic pigs. My 14-year-old openly gay sibling's transgender offspring also has 2 daddies who love their offspring so much, and CPS is working overtime to take their child away. However, my biggest concern is that my sibling's offspring isn't allowed to play in the 8-year-old girls basketball league at the YMCA. This alone is showcasing the worst form of transphobia and is a threat to our democracy. My sibling's transgender offspring feels like an 8-year-old girl. Therefore, they should be able to play in the 8-year-old girls league. Imagine living in a world where a little transgender offspring isn't allowed to follow their dreams because of transphobic Trump supporters and science deniers and conspiracy theorists. I still have nightmares every single night because of the hateful things that Donald Trump said on Twitter. I praise Joe Biden for having the courage and decency to stand up and say that poor kids are just as bright as white kids. In this previous election, decency was on the ballot, and that's what I voted for, not this racist dictator, Donald Trump, the orange man.
Your time is up. No, your time is up. Thank you. I'll just reiterate that we
There are actually crazy people like this. We actually have people like this. I've seen many videos of different people exactly like this. There's something wrong. There is something wrong where we have all these mentally unstable people right next to you. Okay. Voting with you. Living right next to you. We have a lot of problems. We have a lot of problems, right? So many unstable people.